The question is, should I trim a torn meniscus or stitch a torn meniscus? The meniscus is the part of the knee that gives you shock absorption between the bottom bone and the top bone. This is the blue part here. And sometimes following an injury with the knee, you can have a meniscal tear. And often patients are given the decision through their surgeons on whether they should actually stitch or whether they should actually trim. And one of the problems we see, not just in Singapore, in different parts of the world, is that there's probably a lot more stitching that goes on to try and salvage on and keep the meniscus than trimming. And obviously, if we can keep the meniscus, you'll get less osteoarthritis down the track. However, trying to stitch the meniscus, and bear in mind these are stitches that don't dissolve. The vast majority are non-dissolvable, and they're from a company called Fast Fix, which is a Smith & Nephew company. And often they stay in there in situ, so they won't dissolve and can stay in there for 70 years until you pass on. And they can cause an irritation often on the top bone if they haven't been put in correctly and put underneath the meniscus so it doesn't jam and could produce an irritation through the top. We definitely know that bucket handle tears, which are a large unstable tear, don't do as well with stitching. In fact, if you have a bucket handle tear, you're probably better removing that in one surgery rather than trying to trim it. If it's a displaced bucket handle tear and the knee is locking, you need to go and remove it. It will never heal, and that's where you'll have a partial meniscectomy or a trim. The exception, the generalization of trimming a meniscus would be vertical posterior body tears that don't progress on to produce an undisplaced bucket handle tear. In patients that have the tear that extends into the red zone, they do much better with a repair if you're under the age of 25, and also if you have these repaired very quickly after you've torn them. The take-home message today is and you need to also realise that even if you do have your meniscus repaired and you fit into that category, being under 25, recent tear and a small posterior horn tear that's through the body, about 50% of these fail anyway. The take-home message, meniscal repairs have a high failure rate, even in the best scenario cases. Be wary about meniscal repairs. They have a high complication rate, and within our clinic here, we see lots of failed ones down the track that come adrift and they cause an irritation here. And then finally, if you happen to have any degeneration within the joint, articular cartilage degeneration, that's a complete contraindication to additionally doing a meniscal repair. So be quite wary of meniscal repairs over trimming the meniscus. Thanks very much.